Hello, this is the TradeSight Forex Roadmap and Economic Data Preview for Forex traders for the week beginning Monday, April 29th, 2013. As usual, you can view this video in HD and make it widescreen on your desktop so you get the best view of the markets. This video is brought to you by eSignal Charts. Here's a look at the dollar index daily charts right here on your screen. You can see we really made no progress at all this last week. This new count will have destroyed our setup phase. If you project out, you can see here that we no longer are 7 bars up towards a setup phase. We've basically been sitting now at this same point since the beginning of March, so almost a full 7 or 8 weeks basically. We've got a static trend line up here, we've got a static trend line down here, and we are basically in a neutral zone at this point in time. Let's also take a look at the daily chart of the euro dollar. And again, this is going to be with our seeker counts, and you can see not much going on here either. Static trend line below, static trend line above, nowhere on the count, and that's just the setup phase of the count. Last time we actually got a 13 signal was back in January. Let's take a look at the pound dollar, another pair that we trade actively, and you can see been moving up here, a little steadier, but nowhere on a seeker count, and we're stuck between these two static trend lines, the red line, the green line. We'll be watching those as targets. But other than that, really nothing here to focus on in the markets. We've got, even as I look at all of the pairs that we trade, none of them have great setups for the week ahead in terms of daily chart patterns. Here's a look at the intraday action over the last week or so on the pound dollar, and I'm going to put this in 30-minute bars just to show you what our ranges were this last week. Not so great, right? Fairly flat activity. The pound at least got a gap up one day, got a gap and move at one point in time. If you take a look at the euro again in the 30-minute bar time frame, wow, look at that. So much time spent in a 50-pip range on Friday. Little move up on Wednesday, or Thursday we came back in that same range prior to that on Wednesday, and really no better on Tuesday. So we've had a very flat week here in the Forex markets. Not necessarily any specific reason for that. So given that we don't have too much to say from a technical perspective on the markets, let's go ahead and jump in and do what we usually do, which is to look at the economic data coming out in the week ahead, get you prepared for those, and see what we need to dodge or avoid. So Sunday going into Monday, we've got bank holidays in Japan and China. Got retail PMI out of Europe, not a big deal. US data in the morning Monday. Personal income and spending, the core PCE price index, and then pending home sales. None of that's huge. Consumer confidence out of the UK at 7 p.m. Eastern Time Monday night. These are all Eastern Time Zone. Manufacturing PMI out of Japan, household spending out of Japan, unemployment rate out of Japan, industrial production, retail sales out of Japan, all coming in the evening here in the US Monday. Bank holiday for China again going into Tuesday. Business confidence data out of New Zealand. Housing starts out of Japan going into Tuesday in the wee hours of the morning. German retail sales out of Europe, French consumer spending, Spanish flash GDP number for quarter-over-quarter GDP growth, German unemployment change, Italian monthly unemployment rate. None of these are huge numbers. We do have the broad European unemployment rate. That's a big one, along with CPI out of Europe. That's a big one. So 5 a.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday morning. Some big data coming out need to be aware of. A couple data points out of Canada, their GDP, their RMPI, and their IPPI. All right there. U.S. consumer confidence, that's a decent one for the U.S. Has a bigger impact on stocks than Forex, though. Chicago PMI, that's another decent one here in the U.S., more for stocks. And then as we head into Wednesday, again, China on holiday, so 3 days at least in a row for China this week. They're still releasing their manufacturing PMI data. Switzerland, France, Germany, and Italy all on bank holiday for Wednesday. Nationwide HPI out of the UK, commodity prices out of Australia, manufacturing PMI out of the UK. US has its usual non-farm employment change Wednesday morning. Manufacturing and services PMI, ISM PMI, construction spending here in the US, the crude oil inventories, vehicle sales in the afternoon, 30-year bond auction completes, and we have what is essentially a 2-day Fed meeting with the announcement being at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for the rates on Wednesday. So that's going to keep the market kind of slow for a couple days there. Tuesday night going into Wednesday will be half size on our Forex trades because of it. Monetary base out of Japan Wednesday night. Building approvals and import prices out of Australia. Get into Thursday, Spanish manufacturing PMI, Italian manufacturing PMI, European broad manufacturing PMI, construction PMI out of the UK, French 10-year bond auction, got a rate announcement out of the European ECB, trade balance out of Canada and the US. Those are one of our big three each month, so we'd be half size ahead of that as well. It's going to be 2 nights in a row that will be half size, Tuesday night and Wednesday night, one because of the Fed meeting and one because of the trade balance data. One of our big three each month for Forex. Got natty gas data. Bank holiday for Japan again to cap off the week going into Friday. China's got their non-manufacturing PMI. Australia's got their PPI. UK's got services PMI. Europe's PPI. We've got unemployment rate out of the US on Friday. That's another one of our big three. Again, every month the big three being the unemployment rate with the non-farm payroll data, the CPI, and the trade balance. So we've got trade balance and unemployment 2 days back to back here. So we will be half size again. So 3 nights this week half size because of key data coming out here in the US. And then also the ISM non-manufacturing, that's the services data. Factory orders 10 p.m. Eastern Time next Friday. And that is it to wrap up the week. So again, not a lot of excitement the last couple of weeks in Forex. Ranges a couple of days where the Euro only traded 50, 60 pips a range. It's not what we like to see. We're not going to push anything in that environment. And in terms of economic data, there does seem to be a lot more this week. Maybe it'll move the market around a bit. Maybe it won't. We'll have to see. But we'll be here to help you in the TradeSight Trading Lab. Have a good weekend.